Welcome back to the group chat. I'm your host, Charlie Wilson, joined by my brother, Archie Wilson. Now, we had the first ever group chat hosted pot over the weekend, Archie.
Correct, the maiden group chat hosted pot. We went into the Super Rugby, a few swings and misses on multis, and a howler of a missed opportunity on the races that we had that we'll get into a bit later on there. And then obviously we dive into all the sport action that we saw on the weekend. We had All-Star games over in America. You had the Kiwis announcements with the state of origin.
Yeah, it was big.
And
Big
then
time.
you've obviously got PL title race, but most of all, you've got the Super Rugby that was back in action for round one that we dive into. And then to top it off, we had a little All Blacks all-time team blind selection, I suppose you would call it.
Yeah, I feel like I had no idea where I was going with that, but hey, you led that.
Yeah.
You happy with my team?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of discussion that you guys will enjoy. So let's get into it.
So the All-Star game, best it's been in a while. Why do we think that? There was Team World, two Team USAs, Stars and Stripes, baby. The old dogs, the young bucks against Team World and MVP. Why is it the best?
Well, I think just along most of the American sports recently, the All-Star games have lacked a bit of competitive edge and a few things like that. I think having the intercontinental kind of rivalry there, especially based around Wembanyama kind of being posed as the best player in the world now, I think potentially some of the Americans might not like that, considering, they feel basketball's their game.
Yeah.
They're the home of basketball. So I think having someone like Wemby come in and kind of stir it up and bring that competitive edge to start with, blocking people left, right, and center, dunking on people. I don't think the egos on the American side were too
Well, there are
happy
plenty
with
of
that.
egos too. Well, across all of basketball and across the league, there's plenty of egos.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes, I saw him hit a game winner over Wemby, and Wemby's visibly frustrated. I think that was in the world's first game. But you had guys talking about, reporters hitting up KD and talking about them not trying in the All-Star game and whatnot. And he backfired straight away. And it was like, you look at some of the two best players, you got Luka, you got Jokic. None of those guys are trying. And so why are you having a go at us? And then you got Wemby coming in and saying, I'm actually going to play for real.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, just turn the stakes up a wee bit.
Yeah, as soon as Wemby turned up the heat a bit, you then get maybe the ultimate competitor in Anthony Edwards. Taking it to everyone, using his edge, his somewhat arrogance or confidence.
Plenty of arrogance.
Chirping people. So he's always a good watch. And I think him coming away with the MVP on the day was pretty cool.
What did he do to get MVP? Do you know what his stat lines or because he would have played 2 games, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he did.
Final.
Yeah.
And had 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists.
Crazy stat line for All-Star MVP, but I guess you go across the 3 games played.
Yeah, he also had a 11-point game earlier in against the Stars. So yeah, I think he kind of just offered that bit of energy that kind of brought out, that was kind of based on what Wemby brought, but then also offered it, and then that kind of fired up the old dogs as well. LeBron and De'Aaron Fox obviously connected for I believe a game-winning shot from D Fox.
Is De'Aaron Fox in the old dogs team?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He'd be late 20s now.
Oh, right.
About 27, 28. He got that video of the 3 in slow-mo, and he said he's going to get that printed off and signed by LeBron, so pretty special moment for him.
Now tell me, how do you get a video signed by LeBron?
Screenshot, obviously.
Oh, okay.
There's a slow-mo video, and then there's a couple of screenshotable moments.
Oh, right.
And he's going to go get that signed by LeBron.
So we're getting into like NFT chartered territory.
It's been and gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, plenty. Okay, so we talked like the All-Star game, getting a bit of competitiveness. World going 0-2. And I think on the back of Wemby saying he's going to bring the heat and actually play for real, does that set it up? Obviously, this format kind of worked. That sets it up big for next year too.
Yeah, I believe so. And I think from a world point of view, obviously Giannis has been out injured, so there's one of the big players. I don't believe so.
What do Jokic and Luka do? Do they do anything worthy, or do they not play, or
the
what?
issue is, I believe even afterwards, that's who Ant was calling out. He was saying that Luka and Jokic don't really care about it. So even though Wemby's coming in, dropping 14 and 6 in 10 minutes, you've got Jokic and Luka playing a combined 10 minutes for 2 points.
Yeah.
And those are 2 of the other bigger dogs on that that World team. So if they're not showing up and showing out, then that's why the World are falling 0-2 in this format. So
okay, and then on to what we had on Sunday. And did you watch the game, the NRL All-Stars, Indigenous versus the Māori?
Yeah,
That's good competitive edge. Like you see for Josh Addo-Carr's try that he scored, he's bowling whoever it was out the way. Like guys are out there and actually playing for a bit of pride. Hopefully that's what we start to see with a bit of the basketball All-Star weekend with World, First Team USA, that sort of jazz. But what do you make of the NRL All-Stars?
It was a good game. I think both sides, they looked rusty in terms of attack and looked like they hadn't been together for a while, which is true. Obviously, if you are a Warriors fan, you're worried about Tamari Martin being out for extended period of time with a broken leg.
Yeah.
But I think the game overall, it had some good moments. The tie was probably fair in the end. The Māori All-Stars came out hot to start with, and then the Indigenous All-Stars came back. And,
took a lead.
Yeah, and I think there was kind of a lack of X-factor moments in the end, but I think that was just due to maybe preseason rust and each team trying to win the contact area more than anything.
Well, it definitely seemed like there was a bit of rust around, but both teams were in it and wanting to go out and win that game. And you got a little bit of X factor every now and then. DWZ scoring, which is nice. Addo-Carr getting over the line, but yeah, it was actually a bruising game for what is low-key a preseason. Sticking with the NRL, then Kiwis, the big news has come out. So Kiwis now able to represent Origin. Plenty of mixed emotions around that. Initially, my thoughts were sick. That's elite. You get guys like Kalen Ponga, Casey McLean, like all being eligible for the Kiwis then if they're still wanting to go for that Origin spot, which is, people argue, the guys that argue International Rugby League's the pinnacle, I heavily disagree. I think State of Origin is the pinnacle. When you get guys that are able to then play State of Origin and come and play for the Kiwis, I mean, it's a massive win for us. Not so much the Aussies. They seem to hate this rule.
Yeah, I don't really understand the outrage about it, though, because all it does is it means that everyone that actually qualifies for Origin rules in terms of either being born or being a resident of the state by your 13th birthday, it means that they can all play, but also kind of represent some of their heritage, like Casey McLean. Obviously, I believe, must have Kiwi parents, because I know he was born in New South Wales and has grown up there all his life, obviously playing for Penrith now. But I think all it does is really strengthen the competition in the international game. Now,
absolutely.
That's basically the biggest difference for me. You can get more talent across all the different Tier 1 nations in league now, because people aren't being held back having to play for the Kangaroos so they could play State of Origin.
Yeah.
I think it's not a major difference. You're not going to have too many people coming in and out of the squads. You might just get the odd one, but it just means, people like even Ethan Strange down the line, he could come play for the Kiwis, but also keep his Origin hopes alive.
Yeah, I think the frustration from the Aussies come from, okay, now you're letting just anyone kind of play Origin, and the rules are going to get bent at some stage. They're already talking about Jerome Hughes' eligibility. I'm not sure the ins and outs of that, but I saw he was a big topic of discussion in terms of the rules being bent already. And then I think, let's say the International Rugby League is the pinnacle. If you're allowing this to happen, and you're letting more guys who do want to play Origin represent the other Tier 1 nations too, it is only going to strengthen International Rugby League, and maybe it will become the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't. I don't think it will, but it could get there with you've got more guys, more talent across the Tier 1 nations actually competing, like the Rugby League World Cup and, Pacific nations and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, people have been saying, I've seen across the timeline that State of Origin is dying, and I don't understand that concept. I can't believe that, just because I think it's only gone bigger and bigger. So I think as the game grows, State of Origin grows, and then International Rugby League grows, it all is very much intertwined in terms of the growth of the game. And from what I can see on New Zealand shores, that's obviously growing bigger and bigger, probably outdoing Union here soon.
Well, that's thanks to the WARs. But everyone's saying, like Pete Vlandis as well, who's obviously done a massive job for the NRL. The similar comments to you're saying is everyone's saying he's ruining it. He's ruining rugby league in terms of the competition in the NRL, like franchising it, kind of turning it more into the American sports, taking it to Vegas. Now the Origin is feeling more like an all-star game than anything else. Now we've got, Indigenous all-stars, Māori all-stars, that sort of stuff. I think what he's doing is great.
Well, I think you watch all the American leagues tend to be the most well-ran, I suppose, in terms of a commercial standpoint.
Yeah.
And the theatrics that they kind of bring with the off-season stuff as well. Obviously, free agency and drafts, they're all major events. NFL draft's almost as big as the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so if you can start bringing in kind of not going all the way into Americanizing the NRL, because that's not what you want to do, but just introducing different things like they have done.
Yeah.
I think it's beneficial. And the more money that's in the game, the better the product's going to be. The more that can be invested into the players, then they can obviously grow into better players and things like that. So it's all just pretty beneficial.
I think it's just the old heads that don't like it, and they're the ones that are scared to change and don't want it to change. And I mean, when you talk about, we're ruining the game here, we're ruining what Origin is, times are changing. You gotta move with the times. You got to change with the times. And if you're afraid of changing, that's on you. But it's going to change, and it's probably going to change for the better. And obviously, everyone involved commercially is looking for making money, right?
Yeah.
Like, these guys aren't just going to run things as a loss just for the sake of the old guys that don't like change.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they're coming from. And then interesting news as well. We've got obviously the Premier League title race. Kind of, how many games left? 8, 9, maybe
12.
So we're not on the 30 mark.
26.
You got Arsenal versus Wolves.
Yeah.
Important game tomorrow morning. Only 4 points clear of City. And then they're playing away, and then they're playing away against Spurs as well, who are bottom of the ladder, just about. But it's Spurs, it's North London derby, plenty of heat on that game. How are we feeling about the Premier League title race?
Well, I think it's good because it's been relatively boring, I suppose, from match week 10 till about match week 25.
Yeah, that middle period.
Arsenal have been the only team that have had any sort of consistency about them. And it's kind of been more about, who's going to sneak into the Champions League? Is it going to be Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Aston Villa? That's kind of been the talking points.
But why is it not boring when it's City or Liverpool running away with it through the middle of the league? Why is it boring when Arsenal are running away with it? I think it was boring.
It was boring. I think for Arsenal fans, they were obviously in and amongst the chase, so they weren't bored with it.
Yeah.
Because you've been second or however long the past few years. So
4 years in a row, maybe?
Yeah, so that hasn't been boring because you've been in the title race. But for all the other teams, supporters of the other teams, it's just been the same old story, which obviously it's their own team's fault. Is this Arsenal's best chance at a title that they'll get? And I mean, is this going to be the pinnacle of what they are as a team?
Don't go saying that.
Well, if they don't get it done this year, are they going to have a better chance? You've obviously got Man United looking like they're becoming, a bigger club again in terms of the way they operate. Chelsea are only growing with their squad of young players. Man City seem to be getting back on track.
Clicking back into gear.
And Arsenal, who have been handed the opportunities over the last half decade of the Premier League, last 3 years, or 2 or 3 years of the Premier League being so to speak, weaker.
Wow.
Well, more even across the board, but top end, not quite as top end heavy. Have Arsenal blown their chance?
I think weaker is probably a bit rough, isn't it? Liverpool and City both scored, 100 to 98 or 99 points when City won the league, or was it the other way around? Arsenal, Man City, they're all scoring above. They're all getting 90 plus points on the season. Last season, I think, was a different story. But that's it being more even around the league. And you started seeing some of the smaller teams as well compete more, which just brings everyone closer together. I'd argue it's actually gotten more competitive.
Yeah, it's got more competitive, but at the top, teams, Liverpool won the Prem with 84 points last year by 10 points. 84 is not a...
Well, no, that's not a title-winning campaign, but...
And they won it by 10 points.
Yeah.
While taking the foot off the gas at the end of the year.
But that's due to Arsenal slipping.
Yeah.
Because they were in it, and you were getting a good title race, and then Arsenal slipped.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Arsenal
fell drastically.
Came second. Normally 74 points is what you need for a Champions League spot. And they came second. A Champions League spot last year.
But how congested is that middle period then, from 74 to...
74, then City at 71, Chelsea at 69, Newcastle 66, Villa 66, Forest 65.
So, yeah, Liverpool ran away with it, but it's quite congested for those Champions League and Europe spots, probably down until about 10th spot, I reckon.
Yeah, I just think there's not been as much top-heavy dominance, and Arsenal, if they don't get it done this year, I think that kind of top six, that traditional top six minus Tottenham bringing Villa, I think that
Villa
might be
Tottenham,
back and like fully fledged next year.
So what you're saying is we're starting to see more of the top 6 teams, Villa and for Tottenham, dominate the Prem more so than the last 4-5 years, when it's just been a City, Liverpool, and Arsenal always come in runner-up.
Yeah, and then whoever else fits in for the Champions
If
League.
Arsenal don't win the Prem, but they do win the FA Cup, your other domestic leagues, and say they win the Champions League, how are we feeling about that? I mean, as an Arsenal fan, you'd take it. Obviously, you want the Premier League, but to win your first Champions League as a club, that marks the season as a success, for sure.
Yeah, well, there's never been any European success. Tottenham have more.
Yeah.
So, in terms of London clubs, who are your biggest rivals, you need to start getting some European success. Obviously, you've done it a bit in the Premier League, but that's kind of what you build for most of the season. I think sitting here as a Chelsea fan, if I could take either a Champions League or a Prem, I'd be taking the Prem all day.
Well, you've already had Champions League success, so it's easy to say that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can't scoff at a Champions League. It's probably the biggest trophy on earth.
Yeah, bar the World Cup.
The Club World Cup. Yeah.
Club World Cup.
Wow.
Wow.
You wait 8 years, 2 more cycles.
Yeah, whatever.
World champions.
No, Champions League clears that by far. Anyway, let's...
Trophies made by Tiffany's.
Wow. Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's come a bit more local then. We'll go to our group chat game of the week. So last week we had Highlanders Crusaders to kick off the Super Rugby. This week, Archie, we're going to stick with Super Rugby. We've got no NRL yet. There's not a lot else happening elsewhere. We might as well stick with it.
Yeah.
Canes Moana Pacifica at the Cake Tin. Canes' first game. Or are we going back-to-back Highlanders games on the back of their win? And they're going to take on the Chiefs, who also came away week 1 with a win.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at the 2 games off the top, Hurricanes, Moana Pacifica, that had an extra bit of something about it last year with Artie obviously being in the side. Hurricanes legend, captain, won a title with them, I believe. And then obviously returning. Moana Pacifica have always kind of given the Canes a good run for their money until that quarterfinals
Yeah, it was
whatever
a quarterfinal,
it was. Yeah. And the Hurricanes just blew them away. So I think, obviously, while it's a good game, Moana are coming off a dominant win in Fiji and maybe the most...
Which we didn't expect either.
No, maybe the hardest place to go on the road and play in Super Rugby, I'd argue. So that was a big win for them. I just think the Highlanders Chiefs, it offers too much on both sides of the table. The Highlanders beating the Crusaders last week, showing that they might not be the easy beats in the New Zealand franchise this year, even with a couple of injuries. And the Chiefs, lucky to get away with a win, potentially against the Blues, but obviously a reigning finals attendee. They've got
4 years running.
Will they get some of their big dogs back? Damien McKenzie.
Yeah, he's surely back in the mix. We'll look at the lines here. So Hurricanes Moana Pacifica, you've got a 12-point margin there. Hurricanes $1.17, Moana Pacifica $4.80. You look at the Highlanders Chiefs game, you'd probably feel like this should be a bit closer. Highlanders home game, they're paying $3.50 and the Lions plus 9.5. Chiefs $1.27.
Yeah, so I think team news will be big for that. 4 p.m. Wednesday.
Yep.
So that'll be huge to see where that goes. If McKenzie's out, you'd be smashed. Yeah, but right now, if you're willing to play that risk, 9.5's a great.
Would you play 9.5 or Highlanders at $3.50 with D-Mac at the helm for the Chiefs?
9.5, yes.
Yeah, you'd take it anyway. So you might as well get on now.
Yeah.
If you are going to have a punt.
Yeah, I think 9.5's a bit too much there. It's obviously at home for the Highlanders in front of the zoo. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, the zoo.
So, and there's a bit of fanfare about them right now.
Yeah.
Big win. Jamie Joseph weaving his magic back in charge.
Yep.
So,
Caleb Tangentau on the wing, looking like he could be an AB's winger. Who else is standing out for you?
Yeah, I think Jacob Ratamaitavuki-Nepkins.
There you go. Well done.
15. He's maybe the most exciting guy for me in the whole Super Rugby. He's
Hang on. You said Suoliti was last week.
Yeah, he could be the most talented.
Who's Suoliti?
Yeah, but just exciting in terms of wow factor. Nipkins kind of offers it all. He's a mercurial attacker. He's fast. He sets people up, throws one-handed offloads, carries the ball in one hand, kicks. He does
I
it
suppose it's more of a what he could be and the exciting potential there as opposed to Suoliti, what we know he can be.
Yeah, I think it was kind of all encapsulated in that last play that won the Highlanders the game. Obviously, Cam Miller kicked it from 40, but 2 minutes left on the clock, down, was it one? Nipkins caught the ball on his own 40 and chipped it back into opposition territory. Got cleaned out, but just to have the
kahunas to go and do that.
To go kick the ball back with 2 minutes to go.
And as well, add it that it's the Crusaders who are reigning champs. Bold. You got Will Jordan at the back there as well, who you're probably kicking the ball to.
Mm-hmm. Who was tearing you up.
Yeah, he was electric, man. Will Jordan. We'll get to that when we talk about the Punters Club, but Will Jordan, wow. Hopefully, did we have him in our Super Rugby team? I checked on the Super Rugby team. We actually didn't do so well because didn't make the change after D-Mac was not playing. We had him as our 10. And then Tom Wright as well didn't play either. I'll pull that up real quick. So we had only 276 points.
Wasn't great management after.
Not great considering the walks. 953 is at the top with 812.
Well, our captain, we had to get back on top of that, but we'll obviously make the adjustments. Plenty of Cane players will come flying in this week. Maybe we'll wait after team announcements here this afternoon to get that set up and report back.
Some adjustments. But, I mean, we're currently sitting 40,358th.
So there's room to grow.
Plenty of room to grow.
That's all I'm hearing.
Okay, so what we're thinking in terms of the group chat game of the week is Highlanders Chiefs, and we're playing Highlanders plus 9.5. Mm-hmm. Would you take them for the win?
I'm not sure they will. The Chiefs kind of win these games, in pretty uninspiring fashions, low scoring through the forward pack.
So a repeat of the Blues game.
I think so. I think the Highlanders might try break the game open a few too many times, might come back to bite them, but it could pay off. So it's one of those things. I think the point start's good value right now.
All right, we'll take a break, and then you'll be back with... You got the game this week. What are we doing?
We're doing a version of an All Blacks team, an All Blacks all-time team, or an AB's all-time team.
All right, we'll take a break, and we'll be back with that.
Okay, so moving on this week for the game. Obviously, we did ranking top 10 players blind Super Rugby.
Yep.
Last week, and I did that. So I'm going to give you a challenge this week. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you at each position player A, B, and C.
Yep.
You're not going to know the names. I'm just going to give you their stats. All Blacks all time. You're then going to choose based off the stats what player you want in the position.
Yep.
I'm going to highlight the name, come back to it, and give you the team that your All Blacks all-time team.
So from the stats, I think I know the player, and say in the 7 jersey, I know it's Richie McCaw. I'm going to pick that one because I want Richie McCaw on my team, right?
Well, just say you want player A, B, or C.
Yeah, okay.
And then you'll find out what names you chose at the end.
All right, and you're going to list off my team.
Yep.
We're doing a bench as well, or just 1 to 15?
No, just 1 to 15.
Starting off the props?
Loose head.
Good to see you're not disrespecting the props this week.
No, couldn't do that. Okay, so first name, player A, 100 plus tests, 2 World Cup wins, 10 test tries. Player B, 72 test matches, the highest win percentage of any test player of all time with 30 plus test matches.
That's pretty good. Wait, 130 plus?
No, that have had 30 plus games.
Okay. Yep, gotcha.
So like with a decent sample size and a World Cup winner.
Yep.
We've got another World Cup winner,
yeah,
potentially the most talented with 57 test matches. So that's player C.
So player C's won a World Cup, 57 tests.
And potentially the most talented of the 3.
Okay, so we're going stats and then subjective opinions.
Yeah, I'm going to throw in some.
Okay. I think based on the longevity, repeat to me player 1.
100 plus tests, 2 World Cups, 10 tries.
2 World Cups out of New Zealand's 3. 10 test tries. Can't look past that either.
Okay.
I'm locking in player A.
Beautiful. All right. We'll move on to the hookers. You've got 92 test matches.
Yep.
Was an All Blacks captain.
Yep.
This
is all time, eh?
Yep. World Cup winner. 12 tries. Next one, 100 plus test matches.
Yep.
2 World Cups.
Mm-hmm.
17 tries.
Yep.
And then player C, 90 test matches. World Cup winner. 20 plus test tries. Transcendent in the play style.
Oh, hang on. I thought I was eyeing up like a Kevin Malone and Cody Taylor in my head. And I thought both of those had 100 plus tests. And oh God. Hang on. Player A captained.
Yep.
Player B had 100 tests. Player C did not have 100 tests, but more tries and was transcendent for the hooker position. Okay. How many World Cups between them?
One had 2. Oh no, one of them had B.
Player A.
Player A had 1.
Player B.
Player B had 2. Player C had 1.
But player C was more transcendent for the hooker position. Okay, I'm going to go player C then.
Okay. All right, onto the tight head props.
Yep.
100 plus tests.
Yep.
2 World Cups.
Yep.
0 test tries.
Tony Woodcock.
The next one, 56 test matches.
Okay.
90s cornerstone.
Okay, so he's
an
an old
elite
dog.
scrummager.
Yep. Any World Cups? No, probably not. If he's 90s cornerstone.
Next one, 50 test matches.
Yep.
World Cup winner.
Once or twice.
Reliable big match performer once.
I need someone that I can rely on in the big games. Let me play a C.
All right, locks. 133 games.
Yep.
All Blacks captain. 17-year career.
Wow.
Icon of New Zealand rugby.
2 World Cups, I'm guessing.
No World Cups.
What?
150. Next one, 150 plus test matches.
Yep.
2 World Cups.
Yep.
Most capped All Black.
Okay.
All Black captain.
Yep.
Next one, 100 plus test matches.
Mm-hmm.
World Cup winner.
Mm-hmm.
World Rugby Player of the Year.
Yep.
Ball playing lock.
Yeah, gotcha. Now tell me, because we're picking 2 locks, do I pick?
I've got one more
2?
name to come at you.
Oh.
So we've got player D here.
So I'm going to go 50-50.
Yeah.
Or
so
2
you've
for
got
4.
105 games.
Yep.
Line out dominance.
Don't care.
Some would say old school.
Yeah. All right, I'm already on player B and C.
B and C.
Yeah. I don't even need to review that. Let's get to the Lucy's.
We're on to blind sides. 48 test matches.
Okay.
Grand Slam Tour enforcer.
Yep.
5 test tries.
Okay.
Player B. 81 test matches. 2 World Cup. Prototypical number 6.
Okay.
Letter
Player
C.
C.
Player C. 39 test matches. All Black captain. 10-year career. One of the greatest loose forwards of the amateur era.
Oh. When did the professional era start?
In the 90s.
Yeah, okay. Repeat to me, player A and B.
48 test matches, 5 test tries, Grand Slam Tour enforcer.
Yeah.
81 test matches, 2 World Cups, 13 test tries.
81 test matches, 2 World Cups. I'm thinking. I feel like I know one of them that I want in my team. But I feel like you got your 2 World Cups. You got your. I'll look silly if I'm wrong here, but we've got a Jerry Collins and a Jerome Kino debate.
Maybe.
You know, I feel like I want Jerry Collins because he's a dog, but I'm going to go. I feel like I'm going to lean to the woods.
Legend.
I know. You can't tell me that. It's got a park named after him.
It does. Played a lot of rugby there.
Yeah. Local legend, if you will. I'm going to go player B.
Okay. Open side flankers.
Yeah.
2 World Cups.
Yeah.
27 tries.
Yeah.
Captain. Next one. Transcendent talent.
I already know this is.
87 World Cup winner.
Okay.
24 test tries.
Yep. Didn't
Next
know
one,
that was.
100 test matches.
Yeah.
World Cup finalist. 2023 World Player of the Year. Most talented of the lot.
Yeah, okay. How many caps did player A have?
148.
Yeah, give me player A.
Okay.
Did you hear his speech last night or the night before? This guy's a
think-
weapon.
We'll move on to the base of the, we'll move on to the base of the scrum. You've got 100 games.
Yeah.
World Cup winner.
Mm-hmm.
195 points. 42 tries.
Why'd we... Okay. Points. 100 and how many?
95.
Quick maths. Does that only come from tries? Okay, no, Kieran.
Well, that's actually not the correct math then.
Well, unless he
Oh,
kicked a
we're
couple.
talking test match tries here too.
Okay.
So there's different. There's games and there's test tries.
Right.
So I think he had 195 test points.
Right.
Yeah.
Did he kick any drop goals?
He had a 20-point game. Next one.
That's 4 tries.
48 games.
Yep.
World Cup winner.
Yep.
High pain tolerance. When captaining, never lost, only drew once.
Yeah.
And
That's an elite record.
The last
How many
one-
games did he captain? Do you have that up your sleeve?
No.
Okay.
The last one, 100 plus tests, 2-time World Cup winner,
Mm-hmm.
World Rugby Player of the Year.
Can't lie. I didn't quite listen to that last one. Player C, hit me again.
100 plus tests,
Yep.
captain, World Cup winner,
Yep.
multiple,
Yep.
World Rugby Player of the Year.
Yeah, okay. Feel like I've got enough leaders in this team. I need someone that I can rely on who's going to turn up, whether they've got a broken shin, whether their shoulders popped out, their spine's twisted. I'm going player B had the high pain tolerance, didn't they?
Yeah. High pain
Yeah,
tolerance.
absolutely. Lock 'em in.
All right, moving on to the nines.
Yep.
We've actually got 4 here.
Oh, why?
Yeah, it's hard to leave a few of them off this list.
All right.
125 test matches, World Cup winner.
Yep.
Crispy pass.
Crispy.
Real crispy.
Yeah. Well, just the one World Cup?
Box kick savant.
Same player?
Same player.
Yeah, okay.
And actually captained the side.
Ooh.
Next one, 81 test matches,
Yep.
World Cup runner-up, 28 test tries, ultimate competitor. Next one, 86 games.
Yep.
Played for 10 years. Helped set the standard for modern running rugby out of the halfback position and scored 33 tries. Last one, 17 test matches.
That's not a lot for him to be in this.
No, captain of the team,
Wow.
1987 World Cup,
Yeah, okay, that explains things.
leader, been in the news cycle recently.
Give me player A again. There's a lot to digest here. And this needs to be correct.
Yeah. Taking a big swing. All right, first fives.
Wait, what? Oh.
Oh, you want them
I wanted for... Yeah.
All right.
I thought you were saying taking a big swing.
125 test matches.
Yeah.
World Cup winner, crispy pass, box kick, savant, captain the side.
Now, did Aaron Smith ever captain the side? Because I need a lock in Aaron Smith. I saw a clip of Antoine Dupont 2 days ago, actually, getting
Second
asked.
best halfback in the world.
Yeah. But him was saying, like, who's his GOAT halfback? And the
say
reporter was
Roygaard?
asking. No, Roygaard wasn't asked. But Aaron Smith is how he says it, actually. Smith.
Okay, Smith.
Despite the reporter continually enunciating the Aaron Smith.
Yeah.
Aaron Smith.
Yep.
I need to lock in whatever Aaron Smith was. I think it's player A. I'm
Okay. You
talk
go
too
player A.
much. Yeah, we're going player A.
First fives. Player A, World Cup winner, dead-eye goal kicker, plenty of test points.
How many World Cup?
World Cup winner. Player B, most capped.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Rugby World Cup winner.
Yeah.
2-time Player of the Year.
Yeah. He's just got the one World Cup too.
He's got a World Cup.
Yeah, 2015.
2-time World Player of the Year.
Yep.
Tactical genius.
Okay.
Just under 1,600 points.
Yeah.
GOAT.
You really throw me off with player A and player C. Player B is Bodie. Does player C have a World Cup?
Mm-hmm.
How many is the most test points in history? Because that is Dan Carter.
I'm going to tell you.
No, I know. But how many points is that? That's the question. Player, and then you see player A is Dead-Eye Dick with the goal kicking.
So C.
Yeah. Oh, did you say that for C?
Yeah.
No, you didn't say that for
Dead-Eye
C.
goal kicker, yep.
For C?
Yeah. A was a playmaker, tactical genius.
I swear you've swapped them here.
No.
Nah?
No.
Repeat to me exactly player C.
World Cup winner, plenty of test points, Dead-Eye goal kicker.
I swear you said that for player A.
No.
Repeat to me player A.
Wait, maybe I have swapped them.
Yeah,
around.
you have.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm reading them the wrong list. All
right,
no. Player A.
You're going to give me some grace here.
Player A.
Yes.
World Cup winner.
Yes.
Plenty of test points, Dead-Eye goal kicker.
Yeah.
Player C. Just under 1,600 points.
Oh.
World Cup winner.
Yeah.
Rugby player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And the tactical genius.
Is he also a Dead-Eye Dick?
Kick points, obviously.
Yeah. Did player A win World Rugby Player of the Year? Did you have that down?
I don't have that stat on me.
Did they?
I don't know.
Oh gosh. Golly gosh. I wish I knew the test point stat off the top of my head.
Can't be so easy though.
Dan Carter must have had. That's so many test points. You say just under 1,600? And that's player A?
No, it's C.
Okay, give me player C.
I even forgot to throw my fourth name out. It doesn't matter though. 35. It was Carlos Spencer, the fourth one.
Yeah.
Just no, an awesome play to watch.
Well, hang on. Well, I've either locked in Andrew Murdens or Dan Carter. Because I didn't do Bowden.
No. Carlos Spencer did have a 33-point on test debut game. 33-point game on test debut.
I was waiting for you to say something about lighting up the British and Irish Lions. But that was a dead giveaway.
Yeah, okay. Number 12s.
And you're bluffing me with the Dead-Eye Dick with player A.
Maybe.
Well, maybe not bluffing, but not adding it in for Dan Carter at player C.
Okay, here we go. Off the top, 100-plus test matches, 31 tries.
We've gone to second five?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Complete player. World Cup winner.
Yep. How many games?
103.
Yep.
Next one, 78-plus test caps. 78 test caps, that is.
Yeah.
26 test tries. Versatile.
Yeah, okay.
Strong defender, powerful runner.
Yep.
Next one, 46 test matches.
Yep.
Played both 10 and 12.
Gotcha.
Part of the All Blacks in the early 2000s.
Okay, I'm going to go player A.
Okay.
I'm not going to think too much about this one. I feel like I know who player B is, but I think I want player A.
Didn't even want to hear player D.
Oh, sheesh.
50-plus test matches, 14 tries, played through the 90s and the 2000s.
Forget about him.
Okay. We're into the centres.
Yep.
So we have 55 test matches.
Yep.
Through the 90s, 96 tries.
Wow,
96 points. And a strong attacking centre.
Yep.
Next one, 94 test matches. 2-time World Cup winner. Reliable. Next one, 74 test matches, 36 test tries. Captain.
Do we have a fourth?
Not for the 13s, no.
Did any of them play 100 test?
None of these ones.
Who's the most?
94.
Who was that? Player A, B, or C?
B.
We play B. I feel like I've really missed out on a few gems here.
Yeah. Okay, wingers. We've got a few different names. This will be the longest one because I think when you think about New Zealand rugby, 7s, 10s, and wingers make up our history.
And you're giving me, 6 names here? I'm going to pick 2?
7. Yeah, maybe there's 7. Okay, off the top. 54 test matches, 46 tries, World Cup winner. 63 test matches, 37 tries, 8-year career.
Not a World Cup winner.
Next one, 68 test matches, 47 tries, played through the mid-2000s to early 2010s. Next one, 63 test matches, 35 tries, played for 10 years, known for his smooth running and strong under the high ball. Next one, 50-plus test matches, 45 test tries, 25-point game against Tonga.
It's a good game. Against Tonga,
Explosive winger with versatility.
Okay.
Next one, 71 games, 50 tries, exceptional speed, multi-sport.
G'day, Goldie.
Could be Will Jordan.
True, but he didn't play another sport
What if
at...
that's a bluff, though?
Huh?
Could be a bluff.
Multi-sport.
Well, didn't he play for Canterbury under-19 cricket, maybe?
Yeah, but we're not talking freaking 19s level. You got to represent the firm at the men's.
And then last one, 62 test matches, all-time leading All Blacks try scorer in test games, not just games. Part of the early 2000s.
Now, there is a lot to digest there. Which player had the 8-year career?
That was player D.
Now, are we doing left wingers, right wingers? Because I need to get that right too.
Nah, it's just wingers in general.
Okay. Do you want to tell me if they're left or right wingers?
No.
Okay. How many tries did player D score?
Player D. Sorry, player D had a 10-year career. F had the 8-year career.
So that far away. I thought you said that earlier.
Mm.
How many tries did player F score?
50, I believe. 50 total tries, but not just test tries.
Okay. I'm going to lock in player F.
A multi-sport athlete.
What? No.
Yep.
Multi-sport athlete was an 8-year career.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, 93 to 2001. So you want the
Hang on.
one.
What was player D? 10 years.
10 years with 35 tries and 63 test matches.
What's the years of his career?
84 to 94.
Oh, goodness. Do you have the years for all of your careers there?
I've got 2003 to 2012 for player C.
Yep.
And that's all I'm going to give you.
Nah. Where's Jonah?
Swing for the fences here.
There's just so much to digest between 7 players.
Yeah.
Give me a quick run through again.
Okay, player A, 54 test matches, 46 tries.
Yep.
Player B, 63 test matches, 37 tries. Player C, 68 test matches, 47 tries. Player D, 63 games, 35 tries. Player E, we've got 50 plus test matches, 45 tries.
Yeah.
Player F,
Yeah.
you've got 71 games, 50 tries.
Okay. And that's it.
And then the last one, 62 test matches, leading try scorer.
Okay, let's just lock in either end there, A and E, is it?
Actually, that's the letters.
I want A, and then I want the leading try scorer.
Okay.
You can't deny a leading try scorer. And then fullback.
All right.
This could be an interesting one.
Just want to fact check this number here.
I feel like the fullbacks you're going to give me, I'll be happy either way. Potentially. Yeah. What am I hoping for? A Ben Smith, maybe? A Christian Cullen?
Okay.
Christian Cullen be elite. Is he Daggett? No way have you got Izzy Daggett.
46 test tries.
Is this player A for fullbacks?
Yeah. 46 test tries and 58 test matches.
Okay.
Oh, no, so 46 tries.
Yeah.
Not just test tries.
Yeah, okay.
Next one. 46 games for the All Blacks.
Yeah.
1920 to 1930 was
Yeah.
the starting fullback on the legendary Invincibles tour.
Yeah, it's freaking good.
84 test matches, World Cup winner, 39 test tries is the next one.
Okay.
And then 65 test caps, 26 tries. And I'll describe them as risk-taking.
I think I'm going to go
And then
for
100 test matches, World Cup winner is the last one.
So we've got 5.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man! You're throwing a lot of me here for one position.
Well, the backs are more exciting.
They are. What was the player A? 60-something games, 50-something tries.
46 tries and 58 test matches.
Yeah, give me that.
Okay.
Read to me my team, Archie.
All right. So from the top,
Yeah.
do you want to know who you could have had?
Yeah.
All
Give
right.
me the 3 options or the options, and then tell me who I got.
So the options were not in order of ABC because I can't remember how I read them out now.
Yeah, it's one.
Wyatt Crockett,
Yep.
Joe Moody, and Tony Woodcock. And you took Tony Woodcock.
Yeah,
for
brilliant.
Lynch.
I knew I wanted Tony,
Hookers,
but I think I was taking him for the tight head.
you had Sean Fitzpatrick,
Yep.
Kevin Mialamu, and Dane Coles. You took Colesy.
Yeah, good.
So you've got.
I either wanted Kevin
Mm.
or Colesy.
You spoke about Cody Taylor.
Yeah.
All right, tight head prop.
Surely Cody Taylor's
had
up there over Colesy.
Owen Franks, Olo Brown, or Charlie Faumuina.
Tell me I got Owen Franks.
You took Charlie Faumuina.
No, big game player.
Yeah, well, he always came in off the bench and played well. So that's your best All Black tight head prop.
Not Charlie Faumuina.
Well, tight head props. Owen Franks never scored a test try, and that's well known.
I wanted Owen.
Locks, you could have had Pine Tree, Colin Meads.
Yeah.
Could have had Ian Jones.
Yeah.
But
I
took
took Sam
Whitelock
Brody. That's fine. Happy with that.
Blindsides, you could have Jerry or Ian Kirkpatrick, but you took Jerome Kano.
Yep. Happy with that.
Open side, you
Richie.
took Richie over Michael Jones and Artie.
Yep.
And in number 8, you took
Buck Shelford.
Buck Shelford
Give me
over
Buck.
Zinzan and Kieran Reid.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got Richie leading the side. I don't need Kieran Reid.
What about Zinzan, the drop goals?
You
42 tries.
I'm hoping I've got Dan Carter in there to kick drop goals.
He never kicked one from 50.
It doesn't matter. I'm sure he would have if he
Halfbacks,
tried.
You could have had David Kirk, Sid Going, Justin Marshall, or Aaron Smith. You got Aaron Smith.
Yes. I would have been dark if you gave me Justin Marshall.
You could have had Carlos Spencer.
Yep.
Why Justin Marshall?
No comment.
Carlos Spencer.
Crusader, that's why. Canterbury.
Yeah,
Not a
okay.
fan.
Carlos Spencer, Grant Fox, Bowden Barrett, or Dan Carter. You got Dan Carter.
Come on. That's a Crusader I would take.
12, you could have had Aaron Major, Walter Little, Geordie Barrett, or Mar Nonu.
Hopefully
You
I
got
took
Mar
Mar.
Nonu.
Yes.
13, you could have had Frank Bunce, Tana Umanga, or Conrad Smith.
Oh, I didn't even think of Tana.
No, you got Conrad.
Yeah, that's right.
Over
I'll
Tana.
take. You probably take Tana, but I'm
Wingers.
happy with a Nonu Smith combo.
Wingers, you could have had Jeff Wilson, or these are the options.
Yeah,
There's
just-
Jeff Wilson, Will Jordan, John Kerwin, Joe Rocker Thoko,
Yep. I would have.
Julian Savia, Jonah Lomu, or Doug Howlett.
I'll tell you what I want out of that is Doug Howlett, Jonah Lomu.
You got Doug Howlett and Julian Savia.
Okay, not bad. Baby Lomu.
Well, Jonah had 63 test tries in 37 games. No, otherwise, 37 tries in 63 games.
Yeah, I was trying to find the highest.
The bus. He was done down all the time.
Yeah. I was trying to find the highest try to game ratio because I feel like Jonah was up there, but there were just so many numbers thrown at me.
15, you could have had Mills Miliaina,
Oh, he'd have been good.
Israel Dag, Ben Smith, George Napier, the Invincibles,
Yeah.
and Christian Cullen, and you got Cullen.
Yeah, good. I'm happy with that.
So from top to bottom, you were
Talk to me.
Tony Woodcock,
Yeah.
Dane Coles,
Bang.
Charlie
I would have
Faumuina,
rathered Owen Franks there.
Sam Whitelock, Brody Retallick, Jerome Kano, Richie McCaw, Buck Shelford,
Bang.
and captain
What?
Yep.
No, Richie's
Aaron
captain.
Smith.
Richie's captain.
Dan Carter,
Ma.
Ma,
Snakey.
Jules, or the bus. Doug Howlett and Christian Cullen. Now, it's interesting to say out of the Savia brothers, Julian's the one that is the
brilliant. I'm all for it, mate.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's a good team. I'm happy with that. The only swaps I would make, Owen Frank's in there for Charlie Faumuina.
And Artie for Richie.
No. Maybe you'd put Zinzan Brook in there in 8. Or no, actually, you'd put Artie at 8. And then Tana Umanga in at 13.
Over Conrad.
Yes.
What if you put Tana on the wing?
Nah, then I was going to say Jonah on the wing over Julian. I like Doug Howlett on the wing, actually. Brilliant player. And Cully. Oof. Yeah. Can't argue with that.
No, you can't.
All right, that's a solid team. I'm happy with that. We'll take a break and we'll be back talking about the Punters Club. Our first week with the pod, Archie.
So the first weekend with the pod, we were humming. We got up to $509, which is more than we expected.
Before we even placed a bet, we're at $509.
Yeah, put the last call out and the money came flooding in.
Didn't it?
And we were rearing to go for the Super Rugby, which was then, those hopes were cut pretty short.
Well, hang on. Before we get to the punting, I want to actually keep talking. I'm going to find a message that I just thought was the best thing before we started punting.
Yeah, no, I remember this one. But regardless, we went on with the Super Rugby, as it was a Super Rugby pot mainly. And we backed the Crusaders mostly over the Highlanders, which was our first big mistake.
Yep.
It was a major mistake. And quite frankly, we should have seen it coming.
Well, I guess so. But shout out Brooksy, though.
Brooksy made a huge play for us. Live saying Will Jordan to be next try scorer. Took him as the 5th try scorer for $50, was it?
No, not quite. We did. So we were probably sitting down bad. And Brooksy goes, chuck a live bet on Will Jordan next try. So I went and found the odds, waited for them to get unsuspended, got him at 12s, and also backed him live anytime because I thought if he's not going to score the next, he's probably going to dot down as well.
The way he was playing, yeah.
So we got him at $12 for the 5th try score and $3.90. So that returned us about $150, which was good.
Yeah, big play.
Fantastic going. So shout out Brooksy. I've got it just about. Plenty of chat with the group chat actually. Like guys are getting in. It's good.
Yep, get amongst it.
Where is it? Goober 82.
Yeah.
So the pot might have been sitting around like 300 at this stage.
Yeah.
353 pot closes in just under 3 hours. Yep. Thought I'd climb aboard this train wreck. Yeah. Good luck, punters. And then the pot jumped up $50.
Yeah.
So well played, Goober 82.
Yeah, and he returned 20 cents on the dollar.
Unless he cashed out early, because a couple people did.
Yeah, they didn't believe in us after our best day of punting, actually, which is quite disparaging.
Yeah, well, the Highlanders upset, unfortunately, went that way. We
should have backed the Tars heavier because we had that feeling all week, didn't we? We called them
we
to be
did.
Winners.
Absolutely, we did. We only backed a -2.5 with the profit that we made on the Crusaders game.
That was a bit of a meow.
Yeah, we kind of were just one leg too many across the weekend. So we had a wee go on Chelsea Hull.
Unlucky there. Chelsea blew a lot of chances.
Yeah.
And Delap being at the heart of that. Obviously got, for some reason, as a striker, got 3 assists rather than 3 goals.
Or 3 shots on target as well.
Anything. He just wasn't ripping shots. And City wanted to assist everyone else. So that was bizarre. So we missed one leg there.
Yep, so we got bonus cash back for that. And then we had a wee go at the cricket. You cooked up a cricket one as well, didn't you?
Yeah, and I felt good about it. Obviously, was it Seifert or Allen to get 15? No, Lockie Ferguson to get a wicket.
Yeah, it was Lockie Ferguson 1 wicket, Markram 15 plus runs, Rachin Ravinder 15 plus runs.
And Rachin was the only leg that didn't come through, and he scored 13.
Bugger.
Yeah.
That's a proper bugger. Then I had a wee go on the Aussie racing, and I felt good about this all week as well because I called it out. And I liked Jolie Star, Autumn Glow, Tyrus, all 3 to win. And that was paying about $10, and I wanted to put 100 on it. I texted you saying, should we put 100 on that to return 1,000?
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
Well, let's peel back the curtain here as well for what you're about to say, because we signed it off. That's our next bet. And then Charlie messaged me saying, I added in a 4th. And I was thinking, okay, this is great. And we sit down on Saturday and to watch this first race. It was $1.25 favourite.
$1.55.
$1.55.
Apocalyptic.
Favourite that he had put in as the first leg, and it just wasn't even close.
No.
Come 5th.
Terrible run from Apocalyptic at Randwick, and set the tone. I still felt good about it. And someone else actually
Brooksy.
said, was it Brooksy again?
I think Brooksy
Took them. I actually took it myself as well.
Okay.
I should have done it in the pot. That's the biggest regret from the first weekend, because then Chintira stormed home in the Black Lightning Caviar Stakes.
Yeah.
Autumn Glow, unbeaten, and then Jolie Star over at Flemington. Tough race, but Jolie Star first up, hard to beat, and got the job done. So the 3 legs came in, which we would have done.
And what are we going to put?
We were going to put 100 for 1,000.
Yeah, so
you would have doubled your money if we'd called it a day there.
Yeah, that was a bad mistake. And honestly, that one's on you.
Well, thanks. Beauty, thanks for that.
Yeah.
And then I took command on the NRL All-Stars game. We were riding big time on Josh Adokar and Casey McLean to score. When Adokar scored, I was like, right, here we go. Bang, let's do it. And then the try got disallowed.
Yeah.
Found himself over again, but Casey McLean couldn't find himself. I think he sat the whole third quarter. But if he scored, that would have cashed a couple other bets, and we would have broken just about even.
Yeah, now this is the problem. Now, thinking back on it in terms of the All-Star games and in the, what do they call them, trials in the NRL.
Yeah.
Players that don't ever come off the field are coming off for quarters at a time.
That's the issue.
So I think that's the worry. We're going forward, we'll have to think about that, probably lay off the NRL trials this week.
I was thinking Selwyn Cobo first try score against the Wars, because you got DWZ defending that edge. Yeah. New Year, same DWZ on the edge. Selwyn Cobo
might score 22 tries, but probably to concede 30. So, yeah.
There you go. But yes, no, I 100% agree. It's tough with the preseason, whatever. But, we move, and the pot is open again. It's already got $70 in there. Mm-hmm. So the punters haven't lost the faith yet, but do get in there, throw some chat around,
Yeah, and we did also put out a message regarding this podcast going forward. Obviously, they're both very intertwined. It could be good to get a few hot takes or questions that you want us to ask in one of our segments here going forward. So could get a question in on the podcast and see what we think. So,
or just any punting stories. If you've got anything you want us to talk about, anything that might give us a laugh, send it through.
Yeah, and obviously send through your picks, because you'll see that Mary Shan, I think was a horse that we got a few tips on from a couple of the people in the pot. So back to that. It came second.
Yeah. Or maybe third.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what, though, I haven't told you this either, but I've had we whisper in the promos ears, and they're happy to give us some bonus cash based on the engagement in the pot and in the group chat. So we'll work out a bit of a mechanic, and we'll reach out in the group chat on the Betcha app. And basically, if you're engaging with us and having a wee go at it, maybe if you pick a winner for us, we might load you with some bonus cash as well. I think we've got maybe 200 each week to have a bit of a dabble with.
Yeah.
No, so that's always good for the punters.
So it's breaking news, hot off the press.
Absolutely hot off the press. Before we wrap up, should we do the Super Rugby pick the round real quick? Yeah, got 5 games. My turn to do it.
Yeah, okay. So Hurricanes, Moana Pacifica at the Cake Tin.
Yeah. I'll take the Canes at $1.17. Okay. The line, plus 12.5. I'd probably be inclined to take that, but I'll just take the Hurricanes to win.
Okay. Next up, the Tars get another Friday game, hosting the Drua, coming off their loss against Moana. Tars paying $1.22, Drua at $4.
Disappointing loss for the Drua at home against Moana Pacifica. Tougher task for them travelling against the Tars, who just beat the Reds as well. Ended up closing as favourites, but came out as underdogs initially. I'm going to take the Tars.
Okay, beautiful. Moving on to the first of the Saturday games. Down in the dirty south, in front of the zoo, the Highlanders host the Chiefs. Highlanders at $3.50, Chiefs at $1.27.
Now, we made the mistake of backing against the Highlanders last week. Not going to make that same mistake twice.
So you're backing the
Give
Chiefs.
me the Landers at home.
The magic continues down south. Force Blues
New
caps
Zealand
off
rugby
Saturday.
Conspiracy theories.
Don't need to get into that. Force versus Blues to cap off the Saturday night.
Yep.
Force at $3.40. It's in Perth. Blues will have to make that trek across Australia. And then you got Blues at $1.30.
Now, I wasn't very impressed by the Blues on the weekend. And the Force weren't the same team as they were at home last year. But guess what? Carlo Tizzano actually scored. We talked about him.
Yeah, well,
the man against who'd they play? A good Brumbies side. Always the pick of the bunch for the Aussies.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Force at home.
Yeah, well, I think with Susano, you give him the ball in the 22 about 100 times and see what he can do. He's kind of like Whailangi from Moana Pacifica.
Oh, yeah, he was a weapon as well. But no, the Force, we gave them a grace period for one game at home. Now I'm going to back them at home, so give me them to win.
And final, Sunday. Good to have a bit of Sunday footy.
Yep.
Down in Christchurch. It's not in the new stadium yet, is it?
Oh, I think, like, when you look at some of the things, it says it is, but I don't think it is. I think the grand opening for Apollo Projects is it Apollo Projects?
I have no idea.
That's whatever this new stadium is called. I think it's on Super Round, which is in April.
Okay. Well, Crusaders, $1.30, coming off that loss to the Highlanders. Brumbies at $3.40.
I'll take the Crusaders, but I'm interested in to see what the line is. I'd take Brumbies plus 8.5.
Yeah, so
but I'd back the Crusaders to win.
There's a lot of lines out there.
Some big lines.
Yeah, that people should be looking into, I think, before the team lists get out. Obviously, this won't be out before then, but somehow find out, do it. So that 5-leg multi of the Canes, the Tars, the Landers, the Force, and the Satyrs, all in.
Juicy.
At $22.08.
Now odds boost it.
Odds boost gets it to 23.24.
Yep.
We could throw in the multi-rescue as well.
I think you do multi-rescue with these.
Yeah.
But the odds boost is nice. $22 though, that's good.
We will learn though on the old group chat to go potentially a couple 2-leg multis.
Yeah. We'll figure that out as we go though.
Yeah.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of another week of the group chat. Do get involved in the pot. We're going to be going each week again. Talk your talk in there. Let us know what you want to do. And hopefully we'll be coming to you next Wednesday for some good news, Archie.
Yeah, hopefully a nice wee return on investment, obviously. That is ROI. We're looking for that. And then...
just some sneaky ROI.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal, is a bit of ROI. And you can never scoff at ROI either.
Absolutely not.
So we'll look for that. And hopefully we have some more interesting sports news to come across the Twitter timelines to talk about. And we'll see how that Premier League, that races, and hopefully Arsenal stumble multiple times here.
We'll dissect it all, and we'll see you next Wednesday.